I just know that this message is going to be very powerful. And I know that because I've already delivered it. But it was so interesting. The mic, I've never had this happen. The mic died during, or just turned off. Really, it had a battery, so it turned off like halfway through. And so I was just going to, and this is so funny, my dad called me around the same time when I recorded it the first time. He's calling me now. I don't normally wear an EMF watch, but I've been doing this workout plan with a virtual trainer, which I'll tell you guys more about, I think, in one of the coming videos. But yeah, this is like Inception. This is very strange. So I've never had that happen before, where a mic just stops during the video. He is calling twice now, which he did last time. I mean, he knows I'm fine. So there's some storms going on in Portugal right now, and the energy is just like intense, very, very intense here. And it's been like that everywhere in different ways, I know, especially certain places. Also, I don't think I stopped yet in this video. I'm trying to move through all the things and remember what I said in the last video, but actually, I'm just gonna let that go. I just let that go. We're gonna deliver the message in whatever way it's meant to come through now. I just texted my dad back, so he doesn't have to worry. But I dyed my hair, which many of you guys probably have noticed. So this is the color that is close to my natural. It lightens in the sun, but this is also the color that I had when I started this YouTube channel 2 years ago in Switzerland. I went on a little journey of like Pleiadian blonde this year, and then red. I went red right after I started doing dream life sleep hypnosis. So like a day after doing my method, found in dream life sleep hypnosis, I woke up and I was like, I need something completely new. And so that was the red hair, and that was so fun and such a pattern disruptor and so perfect for that massive quantum leap that I just did. And so that brought me to this timeline of being in a house now. I've never lived in a house by myself before. Like, this is a 3-bedroom home with like an ocean view in every window, and it's so much space, and there's a yard, and it's perfect for me and my animals. And I've just never had this before. And it has been such a leap from a broken down van in a hay barn on an island, stranded on an island. And so the red hair really served that. And then, yeah, I just started realizing like I was just called to bring it home is kind of the energy. And that's what's been coming through a lot in these channeled messages, is coming home. Yeah. I'm like, I get pings when I do these channeled messages. It's like ping, 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 ping. And so there's a lot of that energy right now in the collective. So we have these storms and this intensity. And we've had like 5, I guess, I don't even know, because I didn't even realize that they were going to happen, these storms here. And so we've had 5, we're like supposed to have the 6th today. And so it's just crazy winds and rain and a lot of destruction, a lot of like secrecy to it too. From what I've seen is that it's not really being covered, as the Portuguese people are feeling like the government is not paying attention or helping them or funding the damage. And so a lot of volunteers are helping repair the damages. I've heard similar things in Sicily with that landslide that just happened. And in the US too, the crazy freeze and the winter storm, like my dad, where he is in Kentucky, and he goes back and forth with Kentucky and Florida, but in Kentucky it was negative like 30 or something Celsius. And so it's just been very wild recently. And I share that because it's all energy. It's all energy. We look at planet Earth, and the percentage of water, whatever it is like almost identical to the percentage of water within our body. Like we are, as a collective, going through these major changes in our home, the planet that we all share and all call home, and in our bodies. We are going through major changes and upgrades. And Stephen Burns, I've always called him Boom Shakalaka, but now I know his name, his channel is really great for explaining solar flares and explaining that kind of activity and how it influences the earth and what we can expect. And so a lot of this has been to be expected with what we've been seeing. And so these flares are happening, right? This like extra bit of light is shining on the earth, and then it is causing chaos. And then that chaos causes like destruction and endings. And then what happens after that is the new emerges. And so in our own reality, we go through a very similar process as well. So with a pattern disruptor, a pattern disruptor happens in our life, and then we see things in a new way. Light, when we see something that is our awareness, that is our light shines on the whole situation, everything related to those patterns that are connected to that within your own being, within your own mind, within your own field. And so light is brought to that. And then we go on this journey of having, we choose with our free will what we desire, we see clearly, we go through, and I'm saying this kind of out of order because it's different in each experience depending on like how you face each thing. Like if you make the choice when you know it's time to make the choice, if you don't, and then your divine team or your higher self is like, okay, we got to send in the chaos regardless. But sometimes you choose with your free will what it is that you desire, and then the chaos happens. So either way, chaos happens, brings things to an end, and then we get put into the void oftentimes where it's kind of like, what do we do here? What are we doing? And then you catapult into this new timeline. And so right now it's like the pattern disruptor and the light are happening on Earth, and the chaos. And so that's happening energetically. And then all this other stuff, worldly stuff is happening, like major things are happening that are going to change the way that we exist on Earth as a collective. And so we know this, we see this, it's all over everywhere. And you as an energetic being, you as an awakened being, you as someone who came here to Earth because you got the call, you have a different role in this than those who are not here listening to this kind of message and not here in this awareness that you have. Your role, if you found this message, I feel, is to be a pioneer and be a leader in this shift that we're going through. And there's like, there, of course, we've talked about the split. There's the split of the timeline and there's so many different timelines all at once, but in a collective sense, there's a split where a lot of people are going down that fear path, and a lot of people are seeing this for what it is and realizing that this is the crucial occurrence that has to happen in order for the pattern to be disrupted of how we've been existing and how this darkness, this service to self entity and energy has been controlling humanity. And so that makes us wake up. There's this beam of light that comes in, and then we go forward from there, and we continue to live with awareness of the fact that there are service to self entities that run the world, and that has been how things have been, and that we're moving towards a new earth. We're moving towards the 5D. You don't have to know how to save the planet. You don't have to know any of that. You simply waking up to all of this is enough. You've probably gone to hell 5 million times and back, and I'm trying to for some reason, words are getting ahead of where the message is flooding in again. This is such an interesting message and energy because of just the whole inception thing that is happening with it. So I'm like, did I say this already? And so anyway, bear with me. It's all happening for a reason. So let's trust the process. I just kind of gathered where we are in this and what direction we're meant to take. And it's not the message that was in the first video, because I think that is for just a select few people is what I was gathering, and also myself. And so I'm trying to trust the guidance of my divine team to go in another direction with this message. And this is what is meant for you and for those who find this video. And so there's this concept of the parasite energy, which we've been talking about a lot. So these service to self entities, this comes from the concepts found in the Law of One, the material. I definitely recommend reading that book, or I listened to the audiobook. And so the concept is that there are service to self entities that infiltrate our minds. And if we're like in a lower state and we allow them in, or we're not conscious, or we believe that those energies and those thoughts are ours, even though they're coming from another dimension, that have the intention of enslaving others, like that is the service to self intention. And so we want to be more service to others. That is what the Law of One talks about, being more like a higher percentage of service to others allows you to be harvestable for the next level of ascension here on earth, but in your own spiritual journey. And so there's like these thought forms, these entities that have infiltrated the collective, and they, I feel, are almost like sensing this spiritual war going on, and they're trying to get stronger, like get more control. And I'm trying to like say this without causing fear, because the way that it controls others oftentimes is through fear. It's like the lower state thoughts and emotions and frequencies, like the fear, the guilt, the shame, the worry, the doubt, all those things is when you are more controllable. So we're not going into fear here. We're just going into thought exploration and awareness. And so you're literally just bringing your light on this journey with me. And that is how you navigate this. And that is how you alchemize this within your own existence. So they're in the collective, especially those who have been running the world recently, and they realize that so many people are waking up because of these things that have happened, this chaos that has happened. And a lot of the times the chaos was like their intention to cause fear and then cause more control. But the opposite has happened. It's waken up a lot of people, and a lot of spiritual beings having a human experience. A lot have waken up to that, awoken, and then they are turning and they're seeing the truth of this. And so by simply seeing how those, like separating yourself from those thoughts, and realizing that any thought that is not of the highest truth, any belief is really, like any belief at all is an illusion. So anything that is not in alignment with the I am, that is not in alignment with infinite abundance, that is not in alignment with unconditional love, is an illusion. And so you start to see that and alchemize that and free yourself from that. As soon as you have that awareness, you become in a high vibrational state. And those entities, those parasites, like they just don't have their impact on you anymore. But what is the message here is that when that leaves, there is still this like framework within your being that was built for that energy, for that parasite, for that service to self energy. This is talked about in, like, these books are so spiritual. The Sarah J. Maas books, it talks about, because there's like the Valg and this darker energy. I won't get too much into it, but it chooses a human host, and then it lives through that human's body. And then when they figure out how to extract it, there's still remnants of that Valg, that darker force from another planet, because the body and the mind and the nervous system were conditioned to that, is like my understanding of it. And so I feel that that's happening with us as well. And so it's not just a matter of clearing the energy and clearing the impact of those thoughts and whatnot coming from that service to self collective. It's also retraining the mind and retraining the body to hold space for the love and abundance that you truly are. Normalizing who you are now in this awakened state in your body. And so that's really where we are right now. It's like all this chaos is happening, all this fear is happening, all this like, Again, we've already gone through this a few times now in the collective. And so if you found this message, I think that it is really your sign to start to work with your body, to train it, to normalize being at peace, to normalize being in the 5D, to normalize being in the new earth, to normalize that your creativity is the new currency and that you are the most valuable thing in your life. Like your essence, your truth, your being, your presence, your attention, those are the most valuable things. You don't have to perform, you don't have to be something else, you don't have to shrink. You start to accept yourself, you start to feel safe being yourself, you start to trust letting go, trust the crumble, trust when people fall away from your life, trust when money has to be spent, and trust that it always comes back, and trust that when someone leaves your life, someone new comes in that fills your energy, your life way better. I don't want to say better, like they're just more compatible for who you truly are. Trusting that flow, trusting the process, and normalizing that rather than like, okay, like this is where a lot of people are. It's like having the awareness that, you know, this is all happening, having the awareness that you are this infinite being, but not necessarily trusting that, not necessarily trusting that information within your body and that information within your reality. And that just comes from you needing to teach your body what it feels like to live that life. This is such an important message because when you do this, this creates the new world. This answers that call that you came to Earth to do. When you teach your physical form, this is so important because not many people, I've never really seen anybody talk about this. When you teach your physical form what it's actually like to be in the reality of the new earth, that's when everything changes. And that, yeah, there's so much. So it's like your nervous system is contagious. When you're in a regulated state just a regulated state, when you normalize this new earth to it, and that becomes your energy and your field, that is then contagious to somebody who is not regulated. A horse, for example, you guys know I love horses. They are so great at regulating the nervous system because they're I don't want to say the wrong thing. It's like their heart coherence or something is like very much stronger than the human field. So being in their presence, like just standing next to a horse, has the influence on your nervous system to bring it to regulation because they are in a great state of regulation. That was not well explained, but like there's a lot of research on that you can go deeper in. So you become like a horse in spirit of the fire horse here starting soon. So those who are not regulated to the new earth, they come to you, they receive this code, this download, this upgrade, this regulation to their nervous system. They walk away, they're like, what is this feeling? I feel different. Maybe you've had that before where people are like, whenever I spend time with you, I just feel different, or I get new ideas, or I feel better. And that is because of all the work that you've done on yourself. And so this right here is some of the most important work I think that you can do in your human existence right now on this time on earth, when this split is happening, when so much is like being thrown around, when there's so much chaos and individuals are looking for something to trust. The energy doesn't lie. So it's like trust. Well, people will naturally gravitate towards trusting what feels good and what feels safe. And when you teach your body safety in the new earth, people will gravitate towards that, and you will start like a movement. Like you will be the leader that you came to earth to be in guiding people and being the bridge to this new earth. So I think that made sense, did it? Yeah, it's so interesting. Today's been very interesting. This energy too, I think it's been challenging to deliver this message too, just with how much is going on outside, like in this storm, and all the shifts going on out there. I literally feel like I'm like sitting with my camera while I'm like, what is it? Dorothy is in the tornado. It's funny that's coming through right now because when I was in Switzerland, I kept getting downloads about that. Maybe some of you remember that. The message that kept coming through for me was follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. And then I started reading Reality Transurfing, and eventually it talked about that and talked about the Wizard of Oz as an example. Yeah, so maybe the Wizard of Oz is a sign for somebody or confirmation for somebody. But you already have everything that you're seeking. You already know all the answers. You already remember. And you already have done the hard work. And so it's like, I'm hearing like you get to reap the benefits now. Like it's like you get to just take all your nuts that you've gathered as a little chipmunk, and you get to now like go into the harvest. Yeah, it's like you're harvestable. This is the ascension. This is the new earth. This is moving forward into the new existence here. Even though it doesn't seem like it, even though it's like we see the chaos, you know what's coming and you know your role in this. And so you don't have to do much. It's more about letting go of the illusions and normalizing this new state of safety and abundance and clarity and ease and becoming the world that you want to live in. I think that's the best way to put it. It is time to become the world that you want to live in, to embody the world that you want to live in. And that will change the trajectory of existence here on Earth. So I will leave you with that. And if you guys want to join Dream Life Sleep Hypnosis, it is linked below. If you want to join any of my other programs, I have 21-day programs for rewiring your mind, knowing your divine guidance, many other ones. I have a 12-week program too. Some people have asked recently which ones to start with. So 21 days to rewire your mind, I would recommend to start with if you're looking for one to start with. And then I would go into 21 days to know your divine guidance, because that helps you then after you regulate, open up to the channel of the divine. If you want to learn the language of your divine team, how to communicate with them. I also have 21 days to regulate, which is for chronic illness. It's how I healed from chronic illness. So if you know someone, or if you have Lyme, mold, multiple chemical sensitivity, lupus, fibromyalgia, like all these chronic illnesses that don't seem to have a lot of answers, I found my healing through brain retraining and rewiring my mind and regulating my nervous system. So you'll find that in there. And then Dream Life Sleep Hypnosis. I think if you're just ready for a freaking solar flare to your life and a massive quantum leap, then I think that that program and that method is for you. And then I have Nove is almost ready. And so I'm working on that every day. I'm so excited about it. Nove is my app, which has the method of Dream Life Sleep Hypnosis, reprogramming your subconscious mind with your own voice, brain mirroring with your own voice. So powerful. It's like a 10x of Dream Life Sleep Hypnosis. Like, I'm so excited for you guys to try out the app and the methods in there and just see all the magic that can come from it. I think it's really, 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 really powerful. So if you want to join a giveaway for Nove, you can follow Nove Method on Instagram. So Nove Method on Instagram. And then once it's live, the app is live, I will pick 5 individuals to get a year free subscription of Nove. So you can do that. And I think that is all that I have for you guys. And I will see you in the next message. Also, thank you for liking this video. Helps a lot. So thumbs up. If you want to hype this video, if you really love me, you love this channel, you want it to grow, please hype the video. If you have any left for the week, I think you get 3. And then commenting really helps as well. So if you want to leave a comment, I would love to read your comment. I read all of them. And then if you don't know what to say, you can put a wolf emoji. Love wolves. Wolf energy is very significant here. That is all that I have for you. And I will see you in the next message. Bye.